#1 song in the country. That's Miley Cyrus and Party in the USA. It's Q104, Wilde and Feast, 724. Last night, of course, Miley played the Q. Sold-out show.
Oh, I'm sure it was fantastic.
All of Tweener Nation was there, and we had several listeners before at the sound check.
Oh, how did that go?
That was actually really cool. She did a Sheryl Crow song.
Yeah.
And she nailed it. I mean, she can sing. That's the thing I think people don't realize. If you're not a true Miley Cyrus fan and you think, well, she's just some little tweener Disney thing, she's good. And
yeah.
she can really, truly sing.
That's cool.
It was really a pleasure to meet her. And we got to see her away from the handlers. We went into a private room backstage beforehand and sat down and talked with her. And I can tell you on and off the mic, I mean, she is the real deal. It was hard to believe I was sitting across from a 16-year-old.
Wow.
But this is our exclusive interview from yesterday before the concert. Miley Cyrus, it's got to be pretty cool to have already a successful movie, a successful TV show. But how cool is it, seriously, to have the #1 song in America right now?
Awesome. We're really stoked. We worked really hard, and I'm really just kind of I'm proud of everyone that's everyone's really accepted me as an artist, and hearing this song. People that weren't as into my music before kind of hearing it now, so that's really cool. That makes me really happy.
It's interesting to me because we get to obviously interview a lot of big names and so forth, and everyone that we've talked to that's got a chance to talk to you gets nervous. Yeah. And I have to admit, all the big names we've had on, it's crazy because you're huge.
Thank you.
Is it too soon for you, or do you feel you're right where you need to be?
I feel like I'm where I need to be. I've worked really hard. I worked on, it wasn't just this one song, really brought me into it. I've been working on a TV show, and I've worked on movies, and I've done a lot of things, and I work hard. I think it's if you work hard and you'll get rewarded for it, especially if you're good to people and just are having fun with what you're doing, it'll all work out.
What do you like doing best? Movies, TV show, recording, or live music?
I love performing, I really do, but movies are kind of where I see myself doing things right now. I kind of feel like the music industry is just in a really weird place, and I don't know, it just seems kind of sad to me. Not as many people are doing music that they love. They're just audition and put into a group and say this is the kind of thing you're going to sing and this is what you're going to wear, and I don't really want to do that. If I want to be someone I'm not, I'll act. So that's kind of what I like to do.
I noticed during the sound check you did some Sheryl Crow music. Are you a fan of hers? You just happen to like that song?
Big fan of Sheryl. We performed that song a couple times together. We did it on Divas, and then we've done a couple shows or a show together, so it was really fun. So it's one of my favorite songs.
You've obviously been interviewed by many, many people. You get asked a lot of really stupid questions. What annoys you during interviews? What don't you want to talk about?
The worst question is what's it like working with your dad? I'm all right, it's great. It's the same thing as living with my dad. What kind of relationship do you have with your dad? Good? I don't know. So that's kind of what drives me crazy, because I think people are expecting me to say, oh, it's so bad, and yada yada, and I don't get that. I'm not gonna be that obnoxious kid that's my dad didn't do anything to me, but that's just my dad, you know what I mean? So that's one of my least favorite questions.
Obviously, doing the movies and making the music and the TV shows and so forth, you want to be very, very famous, but then it gets to a point where you're so famous that everything you do, you get caught holding hands with one guy, or you say something wrong on Twitter, it's a big deal to everybody. Do you find yourself really paying attention to that?
No, I think people stress themselves out, and it kind of makes me laugh, because while I'm going off living my life and having a good time and living my dream and being with people that I love and being in a happy, healthy relationship, people are stressing themselves out when I sleep fine at night. So you know what I mean? It's it's funny to me, I think, more than anything, and it's kind of annoying, but I don't really look at it. And also, the funny thing is, I feel it's very similar. With your job, you hear that stuff every day, and you hear all the new gossip and yada yada. And where I am, I hear all that stuff too, because we're surrounded by it. People that aren't surrounded by it, I don't think care or check up near as much. My friends in Nashville are I've never heard any of that stuff, and it's because they're not in the industry, they're not around it, We're kind of the people that are always around it. We're kind of forced to hear it, and that's part of our job. Them, it's not.
It's interesting to us because when we find out the latest rumor about Miley Cyrus, she's dating this guy, she's dating that guy.
That's kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. You give someone what they need to keep their show on, and at the end of the day, hopefully after you hear that, they play Party in the USA, so I win. It doesn't matter to me either way. It's evens itself out.
Obviously, you make a lot of money. You've been very successful. What do you gauge your success on?
I think I don't know. I get really stoked when I hear a show sells out. That's kind of gets me the most excited. I get real pumped when I know that we have a sold out show.
That's was Miley Cyrus last night before her concert at the Q. So neat to talk to her. It really, truly was. We're going to have more with her coming up in just a couple minutes. It's 7:29 at Q104.
Tonight.